guys, today's video is going to be all about subliminals. I think I've had quite a few requests to do a video on this topic, so it's definitely popular, and a lot of people say, well, all I do is listen to subliminals, or yeah, I've been using them and I've been affirming. So I think it is quite common. It was definitely common for me. And sorry, out of focus, what is going on? I have had personal experience with it, quite a few successes that I'll talk about in this video, explain to you why they do and why they don't work. Should you be using them? How often? Just kind of giving you an overview of my thoughts on subliminals. So if you'd like to hear that, please keep watching. Do thumbs up, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. I have tons of manifestation content every single week. And yeah, I also offer one-on-one coaching if you are interested in getting some personal help. And perhaps, you know, there's something you're struggling with, you want support for a manifestation, I can offer you that one-on-one advice. All the information is below on my Instagram, LOA Coaching, and just feel free to reach out to me if you're interested. Let's get started. So listening to subliminals, I'd say this is mainly a community on YouTube simply because it's been the longest running video platform online, right? Like I'm sure TikTok has subliminals now, maybe Instagram, like you can probably find them and purchase them. But on YouTube, there's tons of channels. I've done so much research. I've been using subliminals on and off for about 10 years. And there's many different formats. There's binaural frequencies, which is something different, and yeah, there's all sorts of frequencies which I'm not going to go on about in this video because otherwise it'll be about 50 minutes long. I'm just talking about subliminals, but there's a huge community, so it really is up to you to find A, what topic, and B, what aesthetic or type of subliminal. Do you like the extreme, really powerful ones? Do you like the more simple, classic one topic videos? It's up to you. So I'm sure you guys, if you're watching this, you have tested out and tried out different channels and types of videos for whatever you're trying to manifest. So overall, I'd say they do work. Obviously, you'll see testimonials, you'll see before and after pictures even of people using subliminals. And I, from my personal, experience, know they do work actually. But yeah, overall, to summarize, yes, they do work. They are not a gimmick or a fake or a ploy to get you to subscribe or give the channel money. Usually, as a general concept, subliminals do work simply because it's the same effect as you doing your affirmations, the looping and repetitiveness of, whether it's sped up 1,000 times or 100 times, it is getting into your subconscious. Now, because you are not consciously thinking about it and doing it yourself, you're allowing a kind of third-party voice to say it in your mind, right? Or say it and it goes into your mind. It's not as effective. It's so much more effective to affirm, and I'll get into that later, but they do work because it's going right into your subconscious, and usually they're so quiet or played under music that your conscious mind doesn't pick up on what it's saying. If you heard someone say, your SP loves you, your SP is obsessed with you, you are going to have resistance naturally. Your conscious mind and ego are going to be like, no, hold up. He hasn't texted me for a week. What do you mean he loves me? No, he doesn't. Like, he told me last week he doesn't, So your conscious mind is going to create those negative thoughts where sorry, I've got something on my face. But with the subliminal, it's going to bypass your conscious mind and essentially repeat at least a few times the phrase of what you want, and it goes into your subconscious mind. So in theory, subliminals do work. Now, the issue that could occur with subliminals that I've actually seen with a channel, there have been scandals with one or two channels, and one of them I used to listen to. I think it was called like Rose Subliminals, I'm not sure, but there was a channel that was accused of using certain phrasing and potentially just using like dangerous wording and not being trustworthy. So the issue with subliminals is that it is a third party. You cannot hear the actual words. Whereas with me, if you get coaching with me or you listen to my videos, I'm verbally, loudly and clearly telling you, hey, this is how you do it. This is my opinion. This is what I think you should do. So it's up to you to, use your reasoning to say, actually, I don't trust Alexa, or I don't want to believe that. You can do that. Whereas with a subliminal, you don't even know what the person is saying. So there is the issue of trustworthiness or the wording they're using. You're just not sure. Even if they write it down, yes, I've trusted them and you should trust that. But again, there's no 100% guarantee of what the channel is telling you and putting in your mind. That's the only potential issue. I wouldn't say that it should scare you off from using subliminals. I've had tons of success that I'll go over. A lot of people have, praised a lot of channels. So for the most part, I'd say it's trustworthy, but that is the only issue of, the moral issue of using subliminals. Next point in terms of the wording is also that if they don't speak in second person perspective, your mind creates a blockage. And this is actually something I've heard from Sammy Ingram's coaches as well. And it makes a lot of sense that when you're hearing a foreign voice or, anyone else's voice that isn't your own, for them to say, I am, it creates a blockage in your, I believe it's your conscious mind. And therefore it doesn't get into your subconscious mind as quickly through the repetition. Whereas if a third party is saying, in second person perspective, so you have, your SP will do this, it gets into your mind a little bit easier because it's somebody else, a third party saying it to you about yourself, if that makes sense. So the mind for some reason has a blockage to certain wording and, first person perspective. So that again is another reason you may not see super clear results with a subliminal. And of course the wording may not be natural to you. This isn't going to stop it from manifesting, because I've said some pretty crazy stuff or really long-winded phrases that don't have personal meaning to me, but I understood like in English the meaning of the words. So I kind of just repeated certain things and it still created a result. Like for example, I used to say, I'm a work of art, which is so subjective. I didn't really know what I wanted from that, what it meant for me. Did it mean I would look creative, artistic? Did it mean I would look statuesque? I had no idea, but it actually manifested in a really funny, perfect way. I talked about it in another video once. But yeah, so the wording isn't going to stop you from manifesting, but if it's more natural to you and the way your mind is used to you saying things and thinking things, it's going to get in a lot faster and more naturally. So that's why there could be a little bit of resistance with listening to subliminals, and you may potentially go a couple of weeks with no results and be like, what's going on? It's not working. I don't trust this channel, or subliminals just don't work, which is not the case. It could just be certain factors, affecting your mind and resistance. So next point is another way that you may end up creating resistance is if you listen to those extreme subliminals, which I have done myself, you may become discouraged because it might say results in 1 day, instant results, immediately get shorter in 1 second, immediately get skinnier in 1 second, whatever the topic is. I listen to the get shorter one, but it gives you such extreme results as a claim that instantly you think, oh my god, this must work even quicker than normal subliminals. It doesn't mean that your mind is going to be able to accept it quicker. It doesn't mean your results will be guaranteed within 1 day. There's a lot of different factors in your own assumptions and beliefs that you've created and resistance. That for some people, yes, it might work, overnight. Whereas for some people, you may end up having to listen for weeks before you see a change and, consistently every day for weeks. So that's the only issue, is that you may end up spiraling, having negative thoughts, creating more resistance by telling yourself subliminals don't work. This one isn't working. Why am I not getting XYZ? So that's another thing to be conscious of. Just try and be on a mental diet, because yes, subliminals work, but you cannot just sit there with earbuds for 10 hours a day and expect your life to change quickly. It's gonna take a lot longer if you're not consciously manifesting and aware of your conscious thoughts and your mental diet. It's kind of a holistic process where you need all the factors together to get what you want quickly. So yeah, try not to be discouraged if you're not seeing results as quickly as other people or any visible results at all. It doesn't mean it's not working. It just means your mind needs more time to conform and to listen to it. A few extra points, I'll also go over my own experiences. It is best to make your own subliminals, in my opinion. Like I said, your subconscious mind responds best to your own voice. Your conscious mind as well will probably have less resistance listening to your own voice. So by saying, in first person perspective, as you're recording it as well, you're affirming. So it's like just 2 in 1. So yeah, you can say, I am perfect, I am healthy, my SP loves me. You're speaking from first person perspective, and your mind overall obviously is the most familiar with your own voice. So it will be the most powerful, and you can make it, quieter volume and then play music over it and record it that way. So yeah, you can make it into like a real subliminal for yourself. So just going over a few results that I've personally had. I have managed to decrease my height. I was listening to quite a few over years and I did it very inconsistently. So I saw a little bit of change here and there and then nothing for months, and I just wasn't consistent with it because it does take so much willpower and desire and like passion for it, I guess, to consistently every day for months listen to subliminals. It can get pretty boring and you just forget. That was my experience. So yeah, I did manage to decrease my height somewhat, like I think about an inch in total, but it took a very long time and it was very on and off, up and down. So yeah, it does work. I just wasn't very consistent with it. Next was I managed to create more of a successful relationship. I managed to manifest specific things with a specific person, and it was a very niche subliminal. So yeah, I was talking about very like specific wording. So yeah, for me, it was exactly what I was looking for and it did create results. Then next one is I managed to release negativity, and this is perfect if you're spiraling or feeling down or have struggled with your self-concept. Try and listen to the self-love ones. I don't remember what they're called now, I'm sorry, but there was one, I think it was called like Miss Something Subliminals, and it had a picture of like looked like it was in Rome, had like the backdrop of a beautiful church, or I don't know if it was the Sistine Chapel, or it was just something really beautiful, like it looked like an Italian architecture. That was the background of the video, and then it was called something like Love Yourself and something. It was about loving yourself basically. And yeah, if you guys know that channel or know what I'm talking about or come across it, yeah, I haven't listened to this one in over a year, but it was really, really good. It helped me release negativity and essentially feel more, what did I write down? Feel more, yeah, love myself a bit more, where I wanted to change something about my eyes with subliminals. And then as I was listening to this one about loving yourself more and being more confident and forgiving yourself, accepting yourself, I just started to think, I love my eyes. I don't want to change a thing about my eyes. So it literally worked so quickly. And then I also had this like crazy out of body experience of me like looking down at my own body and giving myself a hug, like hugging my soul, which I know sounds so deep and weird, but that was literally the visual experience I was having, as if I was like hugging my inner child and forgiving myself. It was a really, really powerful moment. And yeah, so that subliminal was super powerful. And I think any ones that talk about anything to do with self-concept work really, really well. And then another one that was extremely powerful that I'm not sure I'd recommend because, yeah, I mean, it's at your own discretion, at your own, you know, your own choice if you choose to listen to this. I don't remember the channel. It was, I think Quantum something, but it was, you know, it's called something like extremely powerful release negativity and negative energy, and it was literally like a 30-second video, but it had looped the affirmations about 1,000 times over. So you are getting so much information into your subconscious mind that the creator said, you know, you need to drink water, you need to take breaks, like if you get a migraine, which a lot of people were commenting they got, you know, take a break. And I actually start to feel really nauseous, and that was part of it apparently, that it was physically affecting your body by physically releasing negativity, you know, mentally and physically and emotionally. And I was literally on the verge of throwing up. I was so nauseous, but to me it felt positive. Like my intuition told me this is part of the process. This is me releasing the negativity. So again, I'm not going to recommend you guys use that because it's up to you if you choose to go to such an extreme level. I'm not going to say you should, but that's personally what I did a couple years ago. And I think it helped with my negativity. But yeah, you're not obligated to listen to anything extreme or anything that gives you a headache or anything. But if you do, it's your own choice. I mean, it's up to you how far you want to go with how long you listen to subliminals and everything. So final point is, like I said, it's best to use your own voice. It's best to loop your affirmations verbally. Subliminals are not the way to manifest quick results or change your assumptions and beliefs in the most powerful way in terms of manifestation. Personally, if you do want to listen to recordings, I would record your own affirmation tape overnight and loop it overnight during the night. So that is my personal recommendation. So yeah, hopefully this video was useful, gave you guys some insight into subliminals. why they work and sometimes why they don't, and why you should be a little bit careful and yeah, just kind of use your reasoning and intelligence to decide which channels you should watch. So yeah, do thumbs up, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!